There will be an appeal, but it's unlikely to succeed. In the past few months, there have been so many historic moments in Tunisia. March 9th will be remembered as yet another end of an era. Nazanin Bashiri, AlJazeera, Tunis.
In Iraq, hundreds of workers have been protesting in Baghdad, calling for better salaries. They also want to see improvements in national industries. Thousands of Iraqis have taken to the streets in recent weeks, angry about corruption and poor public services. Some of those protests have been violent, with security forces beating and arresting hundreds of protesters last week. As Jane Araf reports from Baghdad, there are fears of a new crackdown in Iraq.
This is what's left of the Rashid family's alcohol store, one of the few that was still open in Baghdad. It was bombed along with 7 others recently, just after Eid Rashid closed up for the day. Eid is Yazidi, an ancient religion here. Yazidis and Christians have always owned liquor stores in Iraq. But as the government embraces a stricter interpretation of Islam, Eid says there's no room for them anymore.
Especially the Christians and Yazidis. We don't know how we will live. In the north, if we open a restaurant, nobody will come to it. In south, we have these shops, they attack us and steal from us and kill us.
It's not just drinking that's under threat. The cultural heart of Baghdad, Al-Mutanabi Street, has been rebuilt since it was bombed in 2007. But many of the city's writers, artists, and intellectuals have left the country.
Baghdad has always been known for its diversity, its cultural tolerance. It's a part of the national identity, but many people fear it's being crushed.
Hadi Al-Mahdi is an outspoken radio show host, but his criticism of the government has cost him dearly. He was one of dozens of media people arrested and beaten after a recent protest. Iraq is at a crossroads, he says, between freedom and dictatorship. Zina Khattab is a television reporter. She felt free enough to enter and win a local beauty pageant. That could be harder if a new warning seen in the Qadamiyya district is heeded. The display warns women of the dangers that await them if their bodies aren't covered head to toe.
This shows this life, and behind it is the afterlife. Being tortured by fire for those who are unveiled or wear too much makeup. The Quran says we have to cover the chest and the arms. Only the face and the hands should show.
Many Iraqi Muslims dispute that reading of the Quran, but it's a sign of changing times that few in this neighborhood will openly say so. Jane Araf, AlJazeera, Baghdad.
Devout Hindus in the U.S. state of California say they're unhappy with the way yoga-mad Americans have commercialized their religion and culture. They say yoga has been stripped of its deeper identity as a spiritual ritual. Rob Reynolds has more.
As you breathe into the back of the body.
The U.S. is in a yoga boom, with about 16 million Americans doing yoga, spending $6 billion a year on lessons, books, and other items. Yoga has become as American as pizza or sushi.
Breathe with expanded awareness.
Many yoga classes feature some quasi-spiritual talk.
We're seeing others in their essence is that which is pulsating as goodness itself.
Others, like Kimberly Fowler's studio in Los Angeles, present yoga simply as good exercise.
If you've never done yoga and you walk into a class and the teacher's talking in Sanskrit and you're like, what are they saying?
But what is often overlooked amid all the stretching, twisting, and twirling is that yoga is a religious ritual, a Hindu ritual. At a temple near San Francisco, a Hindu priest says prayers before an altar. In another corner, a family prays for safe childbirth. There are about 2 million Hindus living in the United States, and many of them are not comfortable with the way their sacred traditions have been appropriated by American popular culture.
We want credit where it is due.
Swaminathan Venkatraman is a board member of the Hindu American Foundation.
Our major concern is that the roots of the practice need to be acknowledged. And we believe in today's modern yoga movement in the US, there is sometimes even a conscious effort to de-link yoga from Hinduism.
And be a force that is uplifting.
While Hindu ideas like karma, guru, and avatar are widely accepted, Hinduism itself is often disrespected.
Sometimes we have, the goddess Lakshmi sitting on Burger King ad, sitting on a burger. We've seen pictures of Ganesh plastered on toilet seats. They think it's cute.
Many faithful Hindus were offended by this news magazine cover depicting President Barack Obama in the pose of the god Shiva performing the cosmic dance. The Hindu American Foundation is pressuring the news media and school book publishers to change their depictions of Hinduism. Someday, they hope, Americans will learn that yoga means more than just a way of looking good in a pair of jeans.
Still to come here on Al Jazeera, the end of an era. An icon of space travel comes to the end of a long career. And in sport, Arsene Wenger is in trouble after one of his players saw red in the Champions League. Joe will have all the details next.
Business Latest is brought to you by Catalum, the most efficient and environmentally friendly aluminium smelter. Business Latest is brought to you by Catalum, the most efficient and environmentally friendly aluminium smelter.
From the ancient traditions of the written word to the power of photography and expressions of identity through dance, art is a constant feature of the human landscape. An underground theater group fights for democracy. Blind musicians make their mark in Bangladesh. Palestinian teenagers develop a photography project with kids from the other side of the wall. Across the world, art transcends physical barriers. Artscape, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. Let's have some sport now. Here's Joe.
Shuli, thank you very much. Now, Cricket World Cup co-hosts India have edged even closer to the quarterfinals after a comprehensive victory over the Netherlands a few moments ago in Group B. The Netherlands lost a steady stream of wickets in New Delhi to set a total of 189 for India to beat. Zahir Khan took 3 wickets. India had a wobbly start, but Yuvraj Singh helped them close out the game with a half-century. They reached their target with 5 wickets to spare and topped Group B after continuing to remain unbeaten from 4 games. On to football now. In a few hours' time, 2 more teams will book their places in the quarterfinals of the Champions